Alright everyone, hi, I'm Steve the Maori and welcome to DirtWorX Speedway show, a show dedicated to all things Speedway, both at Baypark and around the country. Tonight is the big one, the Baypark Busters are here. So let's go from right to left. I said David Dickey before. Mark Dickey,
Yep.
driver of the 99 car. Mark, welcome to the show.
Yep, thank you. Crowd, please, can you clap?
The crowd, the crowd can make a noise.
Make some noise, please. Yeah.
Of course, we've got the youngest man and somebody who hasn't, the only person who hasn't raced in the Busters team, David Ellsworth. Dave, welcome. Of course, the team captain, Kerry Remnant. Thanks for coming along. Kyle, how are you? Mr. Fraser, how's things? And down the end there, the little man of the team, Ross Ashby. Horse, how are you, buddy?
Good, man.
All right, let's just get straight into it. Why are we back together? Kerry.
Just a bunch of mates want to have a good time, and Pollock Cranes were keen to get behind it, so we're going to make it happen.
You guys are looking, fairly excited about this, of course.
Yep. No, we, like Kerry said, Todd and Pollock came back on board, and I got on the telephone and rang up Chicken Man in Auckland, and he said straight away, and he told me how much he wanted to put in, and it sort of knocked us off our feet as well. So
I'm certainly looking excited to it. So I think January or February, and Robinson Holden International Speedway at Arena Manor with Palmerston North. Who has that sort of name? This is something that Ellsworth would have. You're the youngest man in the team. Never raced for the Busters before.
No.
You've done a bit of racing before?
Yep, I've done quite a bit, but want to give teams racing a go. So
now, one thing that's been said out by so many people out there in the wonderful world of the Facebooks and the McGaws, etc., is that this has taken 6 months or longer to get together. But I believe that's not the truth. I don't know, Kerry.
No, it was just a case of, a matter of weeks, and it was happening, and as we've already said to everyone, it happened very quickly, and we've just gone from there.
One thing, David, that I've had a lot of people say, one of the things I've been asked is, who hasn't raced for the Busters? You're the man who hasn't. Why have you chosen the Busters over previous teams you may have played for?
Oh, we're just a good bunch of mates, and I think we can do the business in Palmy.
You talk about mates, and that's the thing. You guys are good mates out there. I mean, Horse and Kyle and Kerry, you guys all do get along, don't you?
Yep, yeah, we get on awesome.
Most days.
Look, the response has been colossal. We've got over 800 people that have joined the Facebook page. We've got so many people talking about this. As I said, it's through the Facebooks, the McGaws, the Twitters, all those things there. They're talking about the Pollock and Son Baypark Busters rejoining. How have you guys taken the public, the response, Mark?
oh yeah, well, like you say, I've been on Facebook too because I get responses back, and yeah, it's just been unbelievable, really. Yeah, as Kerry would say, it's quite wicked.
Would you say that? Wicked. What's the go with the wicked thing? I've heard about this wicked.
Yeah, back in 2003, I ended up on the mic pretty quickly after winning the final race, and that's pretty much all I could say.
I think it would probably be pretty wicked to win the champs, of course. Who's going to be the team to watch out for? What do you think, Horse?
Oh, obviously the Panthers, I suppose. They've been sort of doing it the last few years, and they stick together, and they're same team for a while, so they know what to do to gel.
With the likes of the Panthers, I mean, those, as you say, they know what to do to gel. What does it take to be a good team player out there and to get that win? Kyle, you reckon? Should be good though, eh? Yeah. Kerry?
Yeah, just knowing each other, mates, racing together for a long time, and having good gear and good backers behind you,
We, with the show, the DirtWorX show that we do here, it's quite politically incorrect, and we're known to move from one topic to another without giving any explanation why. And one thing I forgot to remind people, we're all drinking out of the Baypark Speedway cups, so go Baypark. I've got the old school one. One of the things that we do here is we generally get the youngest person, so we've had the likes of Sam Waddell before, has been the person that grabs the alcohol. Talking about alcohol, I noticed that you're on the water tonight. Yep. And David, you're the youngest person, and my drink's got empty, bro, so the fridge is just behind you. You don't mind just sorting out some of these vessels when they get down a bit?
Yeah, we'll sort it out later.
Okay. Well, I'm going to draw the cameraman in now, because what we do here is we can't make the show without the help of the sponsors that I have got and that we've got as a part of the team of DirtWorX. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut now and have a look at some of the sponsors that help us out. Make sure you get involved. help us out. You need to hook them up. So with all that scrap stuff, make sure you go to David Decke. Hey, Mark.
Sorry, yeah, whatever.
That's right.
David, yeah.
Now, one of the things I wanted to do was talk to basically each individual member about, you know, the racing, the chassis, etc. So, Mark, tell me, engine, chassis, what are you running?
Running a Ford, sponsored by Grant Mitten from Kiki. We've had the engine apart. It's got a $10,000 crank in it. So that's actually more than my whole Toyota engine was always built. So we're looking at doing a bit of speed this year.
Are you going to have the reliability of a Toyota though?
Well, I better.
What are you running this year?
Ford.
Built
by CSL.
CSL?
Yeah. That's
like BSL, only a different letter?
Yeah, I think it's CSL, because, yeah.
If it was BSL, it would be Hemi, of course.
Yeah.
Do you get along with Mr. Hemi?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, he's on my Facebook page. Yeah, he's one of my friends.
Yes, you want to, that suits your shirt.
Yeah.
Talking about the shirt, that's a nice shirt you're wearing.
It is a nice shirt. I'm actually thought it was my blue one of my work ones, but yeah, Mrs. actually had to iron it for me today.
Talking about Mrs. Married, kids?
No, I've been divorced. Had 2 kids, yes. Yeah, so if you've got any drugs out there, they're all into it, so yeah, just send them my way.
Of course, he's talking about things like Panadol and Pethidine and stuff like that. So have you raced for before, teams-wise?
Who haven't I, you probably should say. I've teams raced for Waikato Wanderers, Baypark Busters, Baypark Bulldogs, Auckland All-Stars, North Island Select, and one time in Auckland I think I ended up running for Wanganui, but I thought I was going to be in the All-Stars. So.
You mentioned the Baypark Bulldogs, that's an interesting one.
Yeah, well, when Baypark had 2 teams, they used to be called Baypark Busters and Baypark Bulldogs.
So the Bulldogs aren't the standard stock team?
Well, back in my day, there was no such thing as called standard stock, so it was all just one class. And because we had such a great field of Superstocks over at Baypark, well, stock cars in that day, we had enough to do 2 teams. Nice.
I was going to say, but of course you've proven me wrong with the comment that I was going to make, but I'm just going to do it anyway. I notice you haven't really picked up from the standard stock speed though yet.
No. Well, that's why I'm trying this Ford. The last time I went really fast was a Ford that I used to race, which of course used to be Kerry's car. So I managed to get that up another 2 notches. So I've just taken this opportunity to have another race in another Ford.
Race number?
99.
99? Why 99?
Because my brother had 88 before I could have it.
He's not a bad... Now, I saw a photo the other day of you and your brother.
Yeah.
And you both raced in the same pink cars.
Yes.
And I think
back in 1993, I got 3 NZ in that pink car.
In that pink car? Well done. Must have been a big day for you.
1993, yes, that was a very long time ago.
I don't think David was born at that time.
I was 3.
No, he was 3.
So, on that photo, he was trying to bone you out because I don't believe he enjoyed you passing him.
No, he always got upset about that, yeah. Yes, no, we certainly... actually, the pits was a lot more exciting because he used to steal my piss and hide it under his trailer. So we used to have quite a few fights in the pits because my crew would say, oh, where's our piss? Okay.
Your brother is a lover, not a fighter.
No, we had some really good fights in the pits, trust me.
Biggest rival?
Biggest rival? I don't think I can't remember. It comes to the old-timers now.
The old-timers? Of course it was Ron Butcher or something like that.
No. Back in my day when I was Dave's age, Nellie Irvine was always somebody I admired.
Nellie used to drive the wrong way on the track.
Yeah, I know, but they stopped us from doing that.
Best track?
Best track? Definitely would have to be Palmerston North. It's a fast track, like going fast.
It's got a nice wall.
Yep. Another good track I raced on, I raced down, had an opportunity to race down in Blenheim. Vic Neal, when he first came out with those fast Toyotas, he managed to give me a drive down there after in New Zealand, and I thought that was a very nice track too. We've
done the best, worst track.
Worst track?
Or bogey track, because we don't want to call a track a bad track.
Wanganui.
Wanganui?
Yep.
Do you know why it's V and not a W? Oh no, it's a Wellington's W. Why is it V?
Oh, no, I have no idea.
And your Speedway goal outside of teams racing this season?
Win Palmerston North Team Champs.
That's it, that's the only one?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm too old to try and win in New Zealand now, so I'll just go for it. I've got to have people behind me to help me win something.
Well, that was Mark Dickey. Yeah. Mr. Ellsworth. So, same thing. What type of chassis engine?
I run a HRP Tri-Rail and a Hartley Nissan V8.
Hartley. How much money's your parents got, man? Hartleys and an HRP.
Oh, I wish the old man paid the bills.
Are you married with children?
Nah, I'm single.
Did you want me to put your phone number underneath that for all the good-looking girls that are going to be watching the show?
Yeah, go for it.
There we go. He's here. That's the man. Who have you raced for before, teams-wise?
Nobody. It's my first year.
So this is your first year, teams racing, and you're joining the legendary team that is the Baypark Busters.
Yep.
You must have some big balls.
Just lucky, I guess.
I mean, in the diff, the deep groove ball bearings that you have in the... Yeah, of course.
They're pretty big.
So what's your race number?
87.
So why 87?
It's just a number.
Just a number. So if I threw a 1 out there this season, would you be happy to take that?
Yep.
Biggest rival. If you say horse, he will punch you.
I'll say Kyle then.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah.
Kyle. And who's a driver you most admire in the sport? I've given up, so you don't have to say me.
Nah, I'd say I'd have to be
Fucking
Barry
no.
Hunter when he was racing.
So you're a Rotorua boy. You've done a lot of racing out of Rotorua. You've do you come out of mini stocks?
Nah, my car's the only one I've ever driven.
It's a fancy car too, eh? Best track.
It'd have to be Napier or Rotorua.
Why Napier?
Oh, it's just...
It's got a nice wall. It's like Palmy. I mean, you just get in there, someone chucks you up, and you're on your lid.
Yeah, I haven't rolled there yet, so...
And you haven't been taken out by the legendary stock car driver Regan O'Brien yet?
No,
Ooh, that'll happen. Worst track?
haven't got one yet.
Next meeting at the registered track. And and the Speedway goal outside of teams racing this season.
1NZ,
Where is the champs this year?
Nelson.
Dragging this on intentionally, eh?
Yep.
Thank you very much. All right, moving on to our team captain, a big legend, former 119 driver, now racing the Kerry Remnant.
Racing a Gorge copy Toyota V8. It's a Deal McMurdo chassis. Come out of Christchurch and Nelson. Yeah, just pairing it with a brand new Toyota at the moment.
Brand new. Nice. What do you run computer-wise on those things here? Just to drag it on for David?
Just a made-up computer through Graham Morrison, Midwest Motors, and CHS down in Christchurch.
You got kids?
No.
Married?
No.
Ring on the finger soon.
One day.
And so race number again was 6.
6A at the moment.
Now, why Auckland? You were in Huntly, of course?
There was a few things went down at Huntly, and like many others, I didn't agree with it. So, and with sponsorship and everything, I sort of followed the rest of them to Auckland.
You got a good field up there this year, haven't you?
Yeah, no, it's looking very promising.
How do you think the Auckland All-Stars are going to go this season? Obviously, they're going to have a team that's going to be able to foot the bill, I guess, down there in Palmy.
Yep, they've got a trial run this weekend with Rotorua. I don't think there's any point taking too much out of it, win or lose for either, but it's a case of guys starting to gel together. But yeah, come February, I think Auckland will be fairly strong.
Drivers that you admire in the sport?
You know, everyone that does well, you know, everyone achieves to do great things. So yeah, admire a lot of people.
Ask him if he likes choose.
Chevs.
Choose. That's choose.
That's a V.
Do you like Chevs?
Yes, yeah, ran a Chev for a long time when I first started, an old flat chassis. Yeah, good engines.
What happened on the weekend?
What happened on the weekend?
I was driving the Dave Anstey 414A car at Dickey, and we had a bit of a malfunction, unfortunately, so that Chev is no longer. It's good for scrap metal, and that's about it. Dickey, you should give him a call.
Yep. 200 a tonne at the moment.
Who's your biggest rival in this?
Oh, no, I don't get into that.
Yeah.
It's I can't afford the repairs, so I don't have rivals. It's better off not to make enemies.
Until it comes to the teams champs.
Oh no, you don't take your grudges from normal teams racing in the teams, and then vice versa. You don't take it out of teams. It's just separate. That's all there is to it.
It's certainly something that we don't want to encourage, is taking those grudges out, eh?
Yeah.
What's your best track, mate?
I've had some good results on Palmy. I used to like the old Gisborne track. Had some good results on there. Not so much. Don't like the bank. Haven't done a lot on it, but not too fussed on the banking of the new track. But yeah, probably Gisborne. Gisborne, Baypark.
You've raced in, you haven't just raced Superstocks, you've raced stock cars a few
stock
times.
cars. Had to go in street stocks.
You played in a sprint car as well?
Yeah, had to go in sprint car at Baypark, 2010 Bay Champs.
What do you find in the speed of a sprint car? And I mean, do they have similar driving characteristics to what you're...
No, it's just grunt on wheels really.
Talking to Six, the Six driver who we invited along, but he couldn't make it for whatever reason. Rodney Wood, he I think he used to have a between the legs, you know, with the box between the legs, and he, of course, you're sitting on top of the diff, and he said that he found it did have very similar driving characteristics in that sprint car.
Oh, we did have a stock car set up slightly different to everyone else, so yeah. But
Everyone's got a good track. Worst track?
I wasn't too impressed with the Kiki's four-wheel drive track the other year for the New Zealanders.
That was a big meeting, and yeah, I noticed that there was a hole at one stage, and they thought there was a piece of tin or something in it. When they took it out, they actually found Kyle Fraser Superstock.
Yeah.
Just for yeah.
Yeah.
What's your goals outside of teams racing this season?
Obviously, I'm getting the car going a bit late, so I'm going to go to South Island, so it'd be just for me at the moment, just be to qualify those two meetings and go from there.
Is that the big thing? Is qualifying though?
Oh yeah, definitely. But I've got a new package in the engine, and obviously with a bit more horsepower, you've got to set the car to suit that grunt. So I've left my run a bit late. So if we can get it competitive come New Zealand, then all good.
I always talk about segways, and you mentioned horsepowers, and I think it's probably quite a good time to move to horse. Ross Ashby.
Hey, mate.
David's squirming down here, eh? So the same sort of things with you, horse. You've run space frames and a few other things, but you're now racing what?
Yeah, I'm racing one of Kerry Badewski's tanks. It's done 6 seasons now. It's starting to get a little bit to the end of its life, I think, but we'll go to freshen up, keep it going, eh?
We've spoken a few times, and I know you'd had a look at a few things like I believe you can get a tank that the whole thing's been catted up, and you can push a button and it starts cutting up panels.
Yeah, I think that total sheet mills and Palmy are doing them for Kerry now, and it's all CNC cut, and they go together a bit easier. But whether I've got another tank or not, I'm not too sure. I enjoy them. They're different, you know. Not everybody's got them, and yeah, I just think it suits me, you know.
With the tank, you know, people talk about the hard hits that they can give. You've raced a space frame and a tank. What's the difference between the two?
To be honest, that old space frame I had in the Busters originally that we built ourselves was, I think, you know, it was a lot stronger than that tank I've got now. I mean, the tank's alright, but you got to look after the front corners on them. With
the tanks, I mean, they do take a hammering. You do spend a lot of time working on them. Do you spend more time working on a tank than the space frame?
Oh, I think so. I mean, it's, you know, if you do a repair, it's a major, but you're sort of not doing the every week repairs, so it's, you know, it's just a bit of preventative maintenance, really.
Now, married kids?
Nah. And nah.
Do you have a dog? We'll throw that one out because...
Of course I have a dog.
And what's your dog's name?
Ford.
Fordo is the greatest dog. You guys have... I mean, Ford, how many tracks has Ford been to?
Not as many as you, but it's been to a few.
I actually had to count up the today when I was aimlessly driving back from wherever I was, and I think I've only done about 14 tracks, so...
Oh, yeah.
But if we take the circuit ones and then all the made-up ones that I talk about and the ones that I've raced on PlayStation games, it gets to at least 100.
I'd say the biggest highlight with Ford was a couple of years ago at the 240s. I drove off the practice and I see this little white thing run through the pits. And he'd actually bailed out of the wagon. He was running around chasing cars, so it was sort of quite interesting.
You've had a few issues with the 240s. I think it was the 240s. It was one of the first videos I ever put up, I think. Or, no, actually, it might have been... Was you you had an issue with tyres?
Well, my tyre man had an issue with tyres. I actually qualified quite good that week, and then we were lined up for the Grand Parade, and my mate JV came wandering along and tested one of my left rears, and we'd actually had a front on the left rear, which, you know, obviously is illegal. And yeah, we were trailered, mate, so it wasn't the best weekend.
I think it was one of the best weekends for a particular incident that happened with a tank, which was, of course, the Wade versus Joblin hit. You remember that one? Or had you gone home by then?
Yeah, I was packing the shit. I think I was talking, mate.
So have you raced for in the past?
Well, obviously just the Busters. I raced for the Busters. I I've just done the last 4 or 5, whatever it is, years with the Rebels. And yeah, now back with the Hustlers.
Most enjoyable, thing about teams racing for you?
Oh, it's awesome, It's for me, it's the it's Speedway for me, really, because you sort of, you go out with your mates and yeah, it's good.
So you run the 38 car. Why 38?
I don't know. Actually, I just when I changed from Huntley, I just ended up with 38. I'm not too sure what happened then.
Yeah.
Well done. We'll go. We'll just okay. Biggest rival.
Oh, everybody, everyone that goes out there's up for it, So
Driver you most admire in the sport.
same again, man. Everybody.
Best track.
Napier. I like Napier.
I like Napier too. Worst track.
Yeah, I have to agree with Kerry on that four-wheel drive track at Kiki. I think.
That track's been quite smooth recently. And the Speedway goal outside of teams racing this season is.
Oh, well, first of all, get to the track for starters. Actually get there, and I'm looking forward to heading down south with everyone else and getting into it. And yeah, that's about it. Really, just do some racing.
Very good. All right, look, I want a round of applause. Well done, you loudmouth muppet. How the hell did you go 20 minutes without saying a freaking thing? You don't believe them yet, eh? Headsons. So, David, have you given the money back yet, bro?
Yeah.
I think you owe someone some money. Do you need a drink? You're all right. You're not drinking. He doesn't trust it.
20 minutes is up.
The 20 minutes is up. Hang on a sec. It's your turn. Look,
you can talk. Kyle.
You can talk, Kyle. Kyle, welcome to DirtWorX.
Yeah, good to be back. Good to be back.
Oh, well, do you guys all want to go because Kyle's show has just started?
I'll go for a cigarette now.
We've got one guy leaving. All right, Kyle. Hey, I can't believe you did it. I mean, you're one of the most loudmouth pricks I know.
Yeah, no. Been known to say a couple of words though.
What year were you 1NZ?
I sure can't remember, mate. You have to ask mate. Dickey's older than me.
93.
All right, tell me about what are you running? Chassis engine?
I got a high tensile gorge car, and I got a Hartley Nissan VR.
Nice. You talk about high tensile. The chassis rails that run this way, not that way, underneath the car. How strong are they?
They're getting a bit of a test at the moment, but they're fairly good. My car's an older car, but to be fair, they haven't really changed a lot over the years, and yeah, it still seems to keep up with a few of the hot shots like young David and that, and obviously horses. Yeah, he's got a lot more horsepower than me, but I'm just out there to make up the numbers, really.
Was that pun intended or not intended?
He's been smart coming in, mate. But he's right, though.
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, horse is sort of, he's sort of, he's a guy that we don't really want to piss off, really, at the end of the day.
That's the first question with this guy. Second question, married with children?
No, not
I was talking about the show.
Not at all. If you could flick my number across the screen, that'd be shit hot if you could. No, definitely.
That's just because you want to sell some more cars.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got 4 boys, and
You've got 4?
Yeah, that's all. Yep, and parked that up now though.
Bro, I had a
It's on
TV.
display only.
How big's your television?
Yeah, we
Obviously,
don't
don't have one.
Not in the bedroom anyway, but we've my oldest boy races mini stocks. So
Good looking car too. Hey, you had some young ladies that seem to be walking around. Can you tell me about them?
Yeah, well,
names, phone numbers.
Yeah, well, I was hoping for a bit of that, but that was the Burger Fuel guys. They're just our new sponsor that have come on board, and they wanted to bring Miss Tui New Zealand down, which is the girl on the Tui ad, and I'd sort of said no because for a change, but I'd sort of said no because I wasn't really the golden child at Rotorua at the moment, so I thought they could have just sponsored my little boy's car at the moment. And
talk about not being the golden child for Rotorua. Hey, who have your teams raced for? That's how you move from subject to subject, bro.
Actually, I started the first year with Bryce Steiner and went with the Baypark. I think it was a Baypark Builders. I can't even remember what the name was. I only had 3 days to do my first teams meeting. That must have been about 99, 2000 sort of area. Raced for the Rookie Rebels the year after that, 2000 or 2001, something like that. And then the following year, moved over to Baypark I did 4 years for them with Kerry and Horse and Rodney Wood and that. So we had a good 4 years before we moved back, and I've since raced for the Rebels.
So you're running the 98 car. Why the 98?
98.
Is it 98?
Was I 98?
I don't know. What number are you?
I'm not sure actually. No, I'm 92.
Oh, whatever. It doesn't faze me. It's just got written down here.
Yeah.
It's about me, not you. Carry on.
Why the 92? S.J. Gavell had 91 when I applied. So, he had 91 about 10 years later. But no, actually, to be fair, I don't actually know why I picked 92. But at the time, all the good Rotorua cars like Pat Westbury and all that, they all had like 97 and so on. I thought, they look pretty good. I might just grab a 90s number.
Nice, you're a 90s baby? No, you're not. Biggest rival in sport?
I don't know who my biggest rival would be, but I don't know. My biggest mate on the track would be Old Horse, actually. He'd probably hate to think that, but he's one of my good mates in Speedway. I don't know, biggest rival, always respected Rodney Wood out there. I think he was sort of the pinnacle at the time that I started. But I'll probably go, if currently, I'd probably say Shane Penn, actually. He puts it right up there with me. He can drill a few cars, and he's bloody fast everywhere he goes at every track.
Talking about Penn, are you colourblind?
Absolutely not.
Have you noticed that the silver bullet isn't silver?
He sold the silver bullet, actually, Steve, if you keep up with Speedway. And,
if you notice, I never implied that he still owned it. It was a sort of a reference to him owning it, but it's not silver. Anyway,
David's got a pink bullet this year. If you haven't seen that one. But,
pink. It's a good colour.
Pink, yeah, he's after the.
Mark likes the colour that one.
It's good to see.
Hey, where did you win the champs?
Wanganui.
So that's his best track, tick, and worst track.
Yeah, best track would probably be Wanganui, actually. To be fair, I have 100% strike rate. Every time I've been to Wanganui, I've won it. I've only been there once, so bring my mate trying to find directions. But I don't really have a worst track, actually. If I was saying my best track, I'd probably say Rotorua, actually. I remember Barry Hunter years ago saying to me, boy, if you can learn to drive at Rotorua, you can learn to drive anywhere. And I think that's quite true.
And of course, we've got the Speedway goal outside of teams racing this season is to...
Be win 1NZ again, but hey, at the end of the day...
You're too old.
No, I'm not too old, actually. I'm probably the youngest in the team other than David. I think I'll just get someone to confirm that later on, but yeah, definitely winning New Zealand Championship would be the go. Awesome.
Look, thank you very much. Right now, guys, we're going to move on to... Coming back to me, focus on me. The Barclay Engravers Driver of the Week. Alright, well, our driver for the night was a driver that came out of Rotorua's Paradise Valley, and what a big night's racing it was. This person here was just quite purely amazing the entire night. How's your beer? Your beer's good? Mine's empty, Dave. You don't mind grabbing that. This driver here was that amazing that he won the first heat. Not only did he win the first heat, but he won the second heat. He didn't win the third, but shit, he's amazing. Our driver of the night, who happens to be sitting in the stands right now, put your hands together for the 98 R car of Mark Costello. Mark, come on up, mate. This trophy here is proudly sponsored by congratulations, mate. There's the trophy there. We're tight asses, we don't get to keep it. But there's another bonus. I know how upset you looked before when everyone else got to sign our DirtWorX. So if you'd like to come around the front, every person that's been on DirtWorX so far has got to sign somewhere in here. Just watch out for the Baypark Busters overalls there. Can you spell 98? So yeah, just somewhere in there. There's Steve the Maori right there. It'll make you quite amazing.
Wasn't expecting. I didn't go on the show to get this, mate.
A-R.
Thought this was all about the Busters.
K. And that, my friend, is how you throw somebody under the bus.
Yeah, we had a good night up there. Haven't really had a good... it's been my first House of Travel series that I've actually probably finished all three heats, so to grab the first two was not a bad effort, really.
Span Hickey's going to smoke you.
I hope he does.
Do you think one day that you'll become a Baypark buster? One day, do you think?
He's going to be a fucking rebel.
In the future?
No way, man. Go the Rebels over
No?
there.
Go the Rascals, mate.
Rascals?
All right, get back to your seat. Bugger off.
Give you a trophy.
So, guys, that's how, we talked about no throwing people under the bus. Kyle was shitting himself. So we got to move on to the who's the...
Yeah, you talked about winning races.
What? Sorry, say again. We've got... Speak up.
He can't be shitting. You were talking about winning races.
Yeah.
Very good point. You got smoked in the first one. The second one, well, maybe not so much. All right, who's the? This is when I want you guys to say things, especially Horse and David. So who's raced the most out of you buggers in the team's champs?
Kerry.
Kerry. Ooh.
You have to fill in on the numbers.
I could have, but my car kept breaking down.
You know what? There's like 2,000 or 3,000 people will watch
I know,
this,
but
and nobody will disagree with you.
I know, but we've been racing since 1993. Come on, 92.
Stop it, it's 83. Who's got the most friends on Facebook?
Horse.
I don't know, mate.
I'll tell you who doesn't have the most friends on Facebook.
Kyle.
Who's most likely to get themselves in trouble at the team's champs?
Kyle. Fraser. Definitely.
That's Kyle the Fraser-nator Fraser. You watch out for the stove car, mate. He's I designed that car, eh? That's why it looks so good. You fucking laugh. I will come over there and I will knock your 3-foot tall ass on the ground. So, who's won a national title?
Little guy here.
Little guy?
I got close. I also got beaten by a little guy, Kevin Free.
You got beaten off
By
the one?
Kevin Free. By a boat motor.
Who's gone through the most engines? Q. Sorry.
This week or overall?
It is a new week. Who has gone through the most engines?
I've had a few.
Who does your engines? No, we don't. No.
No.
Don't go there.
No, I don't play motors.
You don't blow motors?
Kerry's had a few, but not engines.
Yeah.
Mark, you can't blow a stock standard engine, bro.
No. I know.
Who is the hardest on gear?
Oh, that'd have to be David, actually. I've seen him do a few gearboxes and that. Oh, yeah, I think
Temper
he's actually...
tantrums.
Yeah, he's got the the ginger coming out in him just quietly, but...
Well, actually, Mark didn't have a very good run on gear last year.
Yeah, I know. It depends on what year it is, because on an odd year it's worse than an even year. Yeah, so I think we're going to have a good being 2013 next year. I seem to be an odd person, not an even.
Again, I go back to the 3,000 odd people that will watch this agreeing with you again.
Yeah.
So, who's the hardest hitter?
Oh, it'd have to be Horse.
Ah.
Yeah, come on, Horse. I've seen you, mate.
I've argued the point on this one here, and I was sure Fraser was going to try and blow his own trumpet and say it was him.
Well, I mean, if you were talking about going backwards and hitting cars backwards, yeah, that'd be Mark Dickey, mate. But they changed the rule and they try to get a bit of rules actually in teams racing. That's why Mark gave up for so long.
But when I got us demoted back 5 years ago, when they said I was going the wrong way, I wasn't.
That's when you were
really.
about 60.
Yeah, but I wasn't going the wrong way. But I have grown up now.
I think before they brought out the code of ethics, I'd say Mark Dickey would have been the hardest hitter.
Do you think there was a dig though with the whole growing up because you haven't yet?
No, I can actually hit cars now, not the wall.
Not since you supplied me with these boxes stand on Steve. I think I've grown up a long way.
We do try to take care of people here at DirtWorX.
That's been good.
It's a nice studio, eh? Who's got the greatest studio for doing DirtWorX episodes?
Definitely Graham's place, mate.
Yeah.
We're coming back here next Friday for a few beers, actually.
Yeah,
That's excellent.
we might have our meetings here. Because piss, look, the fridge is full of piss too. This is just me all over.
Notice there's a bottle of Lindau in there. We thought David might be king.
I could actually live here.
And there are lemons if you want to do the tequila.
Yep.
So who's rolled the most?
Oh, no, I'd be probably up there, wouldn't I? I'd be the contender. Is that in one season?
Oh, overall, mate.
What about one night?
Does that include on top of a car like that?
No, mate.
No, it's got to be
No,
rolled over.
Rolled over.
Rolled
That's
over.
nothing, mate. That's nothing. That's just racing incident.
Okay.
Yeah, you owe Bracken a beer. Who's the prettiest boy flag racer?
Oh, that would have to be Horse.
Yeah,
It would
definitely.
have to be Horse, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they produce those tanks. I mean, that's what they do. You know, everyone thinks that they're out there to intimidate. You know, have you not seen how many flags horses carried, mate? I mean, that's really the.
You're right, move on.
Okay, yeah, sorry, next question. Yeah.
Do you give the, you know, because you get the little flags, do you give them to like Fordo to play with?
I haven't had a little
No,
flag.
he gives them to Kyle's kids because Kyle can't win any.
You know, I've got a butt in here, but to be fair,
Again.
my boys come home with a flag every night, and they say, oh, I like David Ellsworth, I'm going to do a photo of him, I'm going to do a picture of him, because he always gives us a flag.
Go, David.
Don't be jealous, Kyle.
You've certainly won a few races, haven't you?
Yeah, we've won a few.
Yeah, those tri-rails, they're not bad, eh?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, the knockout mobiles, I've been told. Talk to me about that.
At the front end.
But weak in the front end?
That's just a load of shit.
All right, and in this team here, who is the biggest wanker?
Fraser.
Yeah, that'll be me.
Yeah, we all agree with that, Fraser.
Yeah, no. Anyone else want to disagree?
No.
And again, the 3,000 odd people that are going to watch this one here, nobody disagrees that Kyle Fraser is the biggest wanker. And some of my Facebook friends, they're definitely going to agree with that too, that you're definitely the biggest wanker.
There's probably a lot at the moment.
Of my Facebook friends, or? We're talking about Facebook. This is, again, segues. I love this thing here. I didn't even know the word until my cameraman taught me what a segue was. But we're going to move to what we call the Facebook questions. So when you tune into, when I tell you guys, hey, look, we've got this person or that person coming up on the show, and I say, ask the prick some questions, I've got a whole lot of questions coming through now. Listen to them, alright? None of these guys realise that we're actually filming right now because they're too busy grabbing piss out of our fridge here at DirtWorX. I tell you what, I could really do with a sponsor for the alcohol that these guys have drunk, because, I mean, we came in with a pallet knowing that the Busters were pretty good guys.
And Kyle's drunk half of it already.
You know what, the guy started 20 minutes, he said nothing and drank water.
It cost me $100 though.
Why does that cost you $100?
You had a bet. Talk to me about this bet.
Yeah, I think we need to know about this.
You know, we're supposed to be talking about Facebook questions right now, but I want to hear about the bet.
Oh no, everybody knows that Kyle talks a lot, so we just wanted 20 minutes of silence.
It's worth $100, eh?
Yeah.
What's funny is Kyle doesn't realise is that everybody that were actually sitting in the audience tonight have actually chipped in to pay the $100 because they didn't want to hear his, you know, tiny
pretty
amount.
good, eh? They should have doubled it.
No, because he's tight enough that we knew that he'd take the first offer. All right, Facebook questions. I had Reno Wilkinson ask me today, what are the Busters' expectations or goals for the New Zealand Teams Champs?
Win it, mate.
To win it. Is that what you, that's the goal, is to win. You're not there to...
That's the plan. Go down there and win it.
Like chickens. Mm-hmm. Christian Hermanson. You guys know who Christian Hermanson is? Told you, Hermo, no one knows you. Palmerston North, well done. Yeah. Do the Busters feel extra pressure to perform straight out of the blocks, and can anyone beat the Panthers? First question first. Anyone?
Oh, yeah, me. Yep. Yeah, no, definitely we can beat the Panthers. Yeah. They're actually sort of Kerry's age, actually. Quite old, really. But no, they're definitely the team to beat, to be fair. But I think they are beatable.
Yeah, once again on that question, and it goes back to the interview before, when you go out teams racing, you've got to be friends with the people on the track, and that's why it's a privilege to actually go teams racing again with Kerry. We haven't teams raced with Kerry for 4 years now, so it's a privilege to put this team back together and certainly go down, because when you're teams racing, you've got to be friends with everyone. There can't be any niggles, so it's good that...
When you say friends with everyone, you mean in your own team, eh?
Yeah, totally. And, yeah, it's companionship, really. It's like playing rugby.
To be fair, that, you know, the Panthers are pretty hard guys on the track, but I tell you what, the first guys to have a beer with you afterwards. So, you know, the camaraderie that we race against on the track versus off the track, they're the first guys to have a beer with you and shake your hand. And, you know, when we go out the track, when we go out on the track, you know, all the shit stops, obviously. So, but as Mark said, you know, Kerry's done 43 teams races, I think I read in the book. So that makes him fairly old. sorry, it makes them fairly experienced. So you can't buy that sort of experience in a team.
It's funny you say talking about Kerry and the age, because Scott Fredrickson wrote on my page tonight, ask Kerry how old he really is. Are you not as old as what your Facebook page says you are? You should be about 38. How old really are you?
There's no age on my Facebook page. But yes, I'm 38.
It was true. Looks like the guys on the floor are starting to dispute that. We'll go back to the floor shortly. Chris Eagle asks, you telling the truth? Okay, sorry. Chris Eagle asks, what have the teams done to create the bond that is needed to go teams racing? And I think, Mark, you sort of touched on that before.
Yeah, well, like I say, like Kerry, one of Kerry's first Superstocks to race was my one, and he's always followed Baypark. Kyle Fraser, I watched him teams race when Kyle first came over to the Busters. I saw him race over in Rotorua, and I just want to bring back a little bit of history. But Kyle and his brother got into a few fights up the club rooms, and the Rotorua club sort of didn't take a liking to that. So I actually approached Kyle and asked him whether he'd like to come to Baypark, and that's how we got to know Kyle. Because with Kyle, you've really got to have a leash around him. Yeah.
Excuse me. Do you want to grab that?
Oh, yeah.
Should I grab that?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm looking for Carl.
Answer the right end this time.
I'm going to answer it. Hello, Steve the Maori speaking. Oh, do you just want to hang up and ring back and she'll answer the phone? Thank you. All right, guys, so the phone's just going to ring shortly.
Yep.
This is because we love to do things really unprofessional. So when it's ringing, we'll just ignore it like it's not there.
What you should have done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, but it's all about me here. Another question. Stephen Lewis asks, are the Busters doing a team's race prior to the champs?
Would love to.
Yeah. Yeah. If anybody's would like to give us a call, yeah.
Give me a call, Steve the Maori, 0275 32 77 36. I don't care, I'll give my number to anyone. Give me a call, we'll arrange that. So anyone out there, so Bruce Robinson, if you want to grab, Palmy or something, we don't mind going there, coming up here. That we're not just ignoring that. That might be Bruce now.
Bruce, how are you,
That's Bruce.
I've just got my secretary to answer that one there, and it looks like we've got something lined up. But seriously, if you guys want to do something, I'll just chuck the phone number down, press pause on YouTube, go back a little bit, press play, you'll get my number, and yeah, call us. We're keen to go racing, boys?
Oh, definitely. Yep.
Hawke's Bay, give us a ring.
Yep, I think so. We would go over to Hawke's Bay. Yeah.
So racing.
They've got nice grog over there too.
And it's cheap, and they've got magpies.
Yes, that's right.
Those magpies are great. Yeah. Actually, a smart question was Grant Bateman, who's a very talented artist, and he does a lot of filming around the different tracks nationwide. Actually, he's gone over internationally as well. He's in Australia, etc. He asked, what's more important, working as a team to win the team's champs, or David winning the New Zealand Superstock? Oh, sorry, or winning the New Zealand Superstock champs?
Oh, I think David winning the New Zealand Superstock champs will be pretty good, but it's not about David here.
No.
It's about the Busters, and we've won before, and we'd actually quite like to win it again. Thanks.
There is no I in team, eh?
Not in this team, there is.
But there is me.
No, there is a
you can
few,
make
but-
me up in that.
Yes.
All right. Well, guys,
And Kyle is prepared to sit in the infield at Palmerston North this year. So.
No, it's not, mate.
Yep.
Let's cut that, mate. It's not. Just recut that, mate. I'm not sitting in for it.
the only reason you'll be sitting on the infield, I guess, is if the guy who wears the, I had it in here, the red cap, says, Kyle, get to the infield.
Oh, that's only because I get on good with Wayne. You probably want to yarn.
I wasn't talking about Wayne. I was just using the colour of Wayne's bloody hat.
Yeah,
He's not even teams. Leave him alone. I sponsor the
Wayne-
Waka.
Wayne and me will probably sit in there and have a yarn anyway, but won't be on the infield. It'll be in his bus. It's got leather interior.
Now, we had a question. One of the guys from the floor was going to come up and ask a question.
Yeah, my questions to Kyle Fraser.
Tell Steve, I thought that we weren't bringing that sort of stuff up tonight.
All right, guys. So we've actually got a question from the floor. Find a proper question. The question, actually, I know what the question was going to be. So this is when I've got to cut shit out. The question, you guys should have seen the question we had. It was awesome. The question was, how do you make those flags that you take home, Kyle Fraser, because you've never won one?
Oh, I just go to David Ellsworth trailer and just grab a couple there. I mean, he's got no kids to give them to, so you know, I just either grabbed them off him. Horse hasn't got any kids either, so I either go to horse and grab them, but he hasn't been out yet to grab a few for my kids. So, you know, it's all about my kids really.
Stop it. It's not about your kids, it's about you, isn't it?
You know, many years ago, probably back in Mark Decke's day, not quite that far back, but I used to actually grab a couple of those flaky reels.
That's very good. All right, well, look, that pretty much wraps up our wonderful world of DirtWorX. So I want to say a special thank you to Ross Ashby, to Kerry Remnant, the leader of the Busters, the team captain, of course, David Ellsworth, Mark Dickey, and so 27th we're going to unveil the cars at Baypark Speedway. It's going to be great to see these guys out there. Kyle, do you have anything to say?
Oh, I think 27th is going to be great actually. Be good to see, you know. We've, you know, like I say, in '93, you know, I was only 4, and so, you know, it'd be nice to actually come out here. Oh, David was what were you, David? 3. So I mean, we're pretty similar. These guys a couple of years older, but it'd be good to see the cranes and all that sort of stuff, and Squarebush the Clown and all that sort of stuff, and you know, the old Pollock days will bring it back. So we're pretty fortunate, really, to. You know, obviously the Busters have been a good team over the years and they've had some really good support, and it's actually overwhelming, you know, right now, what are we, 10 years on and then 10 years on again, to have some of the original sponsors come back, and, you know, they took us with open arms, and I think that the bunch of guys we've got here are a good bunch of mates. And, yeah,
sorry. You talked about support. Let's talk about.
Well, just on that note, also once we had our meeting on our first meeting before we formed it, we hadn't actually notified anybody, including Baypark, the club, and the promoter Roger Bailey. We hadn't even contacted him. That was my role, and Roger Bailey just about fell out of his chair.
Because you make things happen. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Because he heard a rumour, but nobody approached him, so I rang him up, and him and. Certainly coming on board as a new promoter of Baypark's done a great job back in this, and also Bernie Gillen, also the president of the Baypark Speedway Association.
Let's talk about a few confirmed sponsors. Can we talk about them?
Oh, I think Horse is actually right on there.
Horse, Ashby Engineering, Pollock and Sun Crane Hire. Yep. Anyone else? Makatu Poultry
Bank. Scrapman pays top dollars.
There'll be Set It, which is super abrasive diamond tools out of Pukekohe, Dave Anstey.
Oh, Fraser cars, they're having a sausage sizzle at Bunnings. They're trying to raise some money to sponsor the team. So, yeah, that, you know, all going well. With a bit of support, we might be there.
Yeah.
David's got his sponsor.
Yeah, the old man's keen to sponsor the team. So.
David.
Oh, yeah.
Go on, give him a plug.
Yep.
Well, Ellsworth Agricultural Contractors are keen to sponsor it as well.
It's a bit of a, you know.
And this all happened in 2 weeks, remember?
Of course. Can you actually, David? One thing. Can you say silk 5 times really fast?
Right.
It's just say you got to do it.
No, I'm good.
You do it then, Mark.
Silk, 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 silk.
What do cows drink?
Silk.
What do cows drink?
Silk. Tell you, our timers.
Water. All right, guys. I'm Steve the Maori. Thanks for watching DirtWorX New Zealand Speedway, and don't forget, Dirt's for racing. Tarseals for getting there. Have a good night.